Good evening, everyone. Uh, Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. I'm Laz. I've changed my screen around, I know. So I hope you don't mind. Yeah, as I said, I'm Laz. I'm the strange person who sits in front of the camera and does things. And hopefully you come and watch and enjoy. Now, we have to start with the usual way of using my phone and going to join you in portrait mode because, well, sometimes it doesn't like putting the chat up for some strange reason. So I have to change it over. Which means I've got to try and find out which one's the actual portrait mode. Which we'll find out in a second. There we go. Now, seeing the chat in portrait mode is going to be a little bit difficult because I've blocked everything off for myself with this big grey sheet. Because I have some spraying to do tonight. I had my electronics arrive to do the ARC stage, and I've got lots of little things to do. And I can never find out what it is I'm actually supposed to be doing. So I'm going to start with spraying this, and then see how I go on from there. Because I've got the missile launchers to paint still, and I have other things to do. First of all, though, I need a mask. If I'm going to be spraying stuff, I need a mask. Now, it's not exactly a proper mask, but it should suffice. At least to keep most of the stuff out of my lungs. I hope, anyway. And I need a window open. Just open that for a second. And open that window there next to me. And now I have a window open as well. Hurrah! So, what is it I'm spraying? First of all, I'm knocking everything off that piece that I wanted to do a minute ago. And I am spraying what is going to be the stage area and the speaker system for the ARC stage. But that also means that I need to start looking at the actual dance floor. Now that seems to be a nice, neat little line that fits along right there. Because see, you see that really nice little line that fits along, but then it leaves that on the other side. Not too good, not too good. But that can be worked on later. For now, I need to get this section done. Essentially, I need to get it all painted, and I've not quite got enough room to put this big mat down. Not quite got enough room. Let's just move a couple of things. Couple more things. There we go. It working now. So, have airbrush set up. And we have paints. Hey. Let's get them painted. Good evening, Epic. You have redacted your message, but your name is still there. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, we're going to try... Now, just in case you're wondering, the reason why all this is taped up, this is where the lights are going to go. So, I don't want to get any paint on that. But I'm not too bothered about getting paint around here because it'll blend in with the actual stage itself. I've just got to hope this paint does go through the airbrush as cleanly and effectively as I thought it was going to. Or I hope it's going to anyway. That's going to be the difficult bit. I've put my mask on already, and I've not even got my paint on. That's how much of an idiot I am today. Now, last time I used Procryl, I think, as far as I'm aware, it went straight through the airbrush without any worries whatsoever. Cindy, hello, welcome in again. How are you doing? I hope you're okay. I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. I'm just hoping this works. Which is not allowing any paint to come through right now. Oh, wonderful. So we do have flow improver. And something to stir it with. So I'm not completely done in with this. I'm going to be able to at least allow the flow to run and look weird with the red mask on. So just a tiny little bit of flow improver. Just a little bit. And then my stirry stick. Just mix all that up nicely. Oh, you've reposted trailers. Excellent. Does that mean that you've done the Warhammer 40,000 Total War trailer and the Dawn of War trailer? You've done them both? Now this is coming through very, very slowly, but it is coming through. Now, I probably should have used the other airbrush, but I just realised I found the one with the small nozzle. So this might take a little bit longer than I actually initially intended, but I do at least have some more control over it, except for when it does that. There we go, that's a bit better. Not much because it is running a little bit light, it is running a little bit wet. So we kind of want to, while it's running okay, I want to make sure I get the central line down there. If anyone's thinking, Laz, you're using that wrong, you should be doing it like that, please tell me otherwise. Good evening, Ali. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've got your hot chocolate ready. Getting yourself all snugged and ready, because I know it's bedtime soon. Especially for those people who work as well. Just like Ali. It is going to be bedtime soon. Especially if you're over here with us. I'm not too sure there. Epic Game. If you've not already done the Dawn of War trailers, then do the Dawn of War trailers. Because there are a few now. You've got a few faction trailers as well as the actual original, the actual game trailer. So you've got a few trailers to cover for that one now. Or you've got the Total War Warhammer one, which again has factions as well as the official trailer. Oh, I should have chose the bigger brush. I should have chose the bigger airbrush. But it's going on. It is going on. As I said, it's taken a little bit more time than what I would have liked. But it's going on quite well. I'm quite happy with some of this. I am quite happy. No, it's not strong smelling, Ali. It's just that I do get particles of paint coming out, so I need to... Everyone keeps shouting at me because I don't wear a mask when I do stuff like this. So this time, I'm wearing a mask. And then no one can shout at me for not wearing one. Or not having some kind of ventilation and respiratory protection. So I have an open window. And I have something to stop the particles going in my face. That's what this boils down to. And now for the back. Now luckily it is orcs, so I'm getting away with these splotches and not quite even tones are alright for this model, because it's going to be an arc stage after all. I am a bit too close there, as I've realised, so I need to back it off a bit and then make sure I get this. Now this is the back section where you can see where all the holes and stuff are. Hello, Fargrim. Did you pop in? I'm looking like a G-Steel occultist. I suppose I am a bit with the mask up. All I'm missing really is the goggles and the. Well, I can put the head ridges on, but I'm missing the goggles. They're around here somewhere. I just don't have them. Now this is probably the worst airbrushing you have ever seen in your life. That is because I'm not trying to be neat. I am not trying to be tidy. I'm just trying to get it coloured. I could probably do it this much neater with a standard brush, in fairness, than what I'm doing right now. But it is an arc stage, so I don't want it to be neat and flat and tidy and clean and look like it's been put on by an Imperial agent and nice and neat to Imperial standards. I want it to look like it has been slapdashed together and covered up. And this is going to have stuff glued onto it anyway, so it's going to have more stuff going on here. This is just the base colour. And I want to keep it the two same base colours that Steve F had them, which is the yellow and red. Which means I'm doing the yellow first, as you can tell. And I still need a lot more practice with an airbrush. A lot more practice, because that is very patchy. That is very patchy. Hey up, Buzzard! You alright, mate? We're doing a bit of spraying first, and then we're going to move on to some smaller models afterwards. So now we come back over to try and even out this yellow up here. There we go. See, it's getting there now. A much flatter colour. Am I going to have to now? I think I am. I'm going to have to close that down to make that bigger. Why am I not painting this? Because I've not used my airbrush much, Ali. And I want to use my airbrush more. So in this case, I'm using it to do this. Although yes, it probably would have been easier for me to do it with a brush. I need to get more practice in with the airbrush so I'll be better with it, and then I can start using the airbrush more to blend and do details. But I can't do it at the moment because I'm not used to using it. Wow, it is warm sat here with this mask on. It is very warm sat here with this mask on. Just so you know, I am roasting alive. Now ideally I don't want to waste any of the paint that I've got here, because I have put a lot in. I've probably put more in than I actually needed, but just going over this section here, it does look like I'm going to need a lot. But as I said, this is Twisted! Welcome back, mate. Welcome back. Good to see you up and running. Now, I know you've been working away, but we haven't seen you in here for a while because you've not been at the greatest of health and various other things. Good to see you back in, mate. Good to see you back in. But yeah, I need a lot of practice with an airbrush. That's why I'm using the airbrush just to see if I can get a flat colour at the minute. But using the smaller nozzle isn't the best idea to do a large area. As I am now figuring out. So I'm going to look for my other airbrush in a minute. We should have the larger nozzle, which is what I thought this one was. Where has it gone? It should be on here somewhere. It should be. It should be. So now where am I? Aha! Right. No. I'm missing a lot of the chat, so I can't keep up. Which is making it all the more interesting. I've just been hit in the head by Mandy. Mandy just beat me in the head. Mandy, that's not nice. Right, I'm just going to go clean this airbrush out because silly me's not left any of my cleaning stuff right next to me, because that would just be silly, wouldn't it, to have all my cleaning stuff right next to me. So I'm just going to clean the yellow paint out of here, and then we can put red paint in and start doing the other side. There it is. I can dry it now. Drying the airbrush again. Just so I don't get any water in the non-watery sections. Standing on sprues that I weren't supposed to stand on because I didn't move them far enough away. I have lots of things sat down here next to me at the moment, and he's getting a little out of hand. It's getting a little out of hand. Even more so than usual. And some of you are thinking, no, that's not possible. It is. It is since I started this project anyway. I've got spruce next to me to make a guitarist out of, as well as bits. So I've seen as Fargrim's already asked. I hope everybody else is doing well. Adam, welcome in. You've been hospital. That's not... What? I'm sorry to hear that, Adam. I mean, you have been coming in for a while now, and you are part of us. You're part of this little community. And if that's what's going on, mate, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That is not a good thing. And I hope I can at least cause you some enjoyment over this evening. Including putting an absolutely daft mask on so I look like a gene stealer cultist, apparently, according to Fargrim. Here we go. I mean, I can get it right up over there as well if I wanted to, and turn it into almost a full ninja mask. If I really wanted to. Let's see, I kind of tuck it in to get it to stay. Yeah, close enough. But see, I can do a full mask. Look like a complete moron, but I can do a mask. Right, let's put up a little bit of flow improver in this one, and then pop the lid back on it so it's not flowing everywhere. We are sorry to hear that, Adam. We do have our own issues as well, but as far as we're aware, none of that is life-threatening. I'm not gloating, I'm just stating. So let's try and at least make it amusing for you while you watching me. I mean, just watching me airbrush would be funny enough. That guy even think he's doing. Oh, turn the airbrush back on, you absolute buffoon. Digga, 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 digga. Yep. And are we getting red out of that now? Yes, we are. As much as I can, I'm going to try and keep this red nice and even. If I can. I'm probably not going to be able to. I'm probably going to mess it up. As I said, I'm not too good at airbrushing at the moment. There are many people out there that are better than me and probably going, what you're doing, you absolute idiot. You should have done it this way. It's like, oh, well and good. You should have come on and told me then. I can see the cultist resemblance. All hail the Star Child. The four-armed Emperor shall save us. Oh, wait a minute. No. They're coming to meet us. No! Run away. Somebody call the real Emperor. I made a mistake. Where's the Space Marine when you need one? All sat in my boxes. That's where they are. So there's the nice line down the top. And now for all the other sections around the front. So we have a red speaker and a yellow speaker. Now, as I said, this section's where all the lights are going to go. That's why I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that that's nice and clear still. Now, the soldering iron to do the lights turns up tomorrow. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing Thursday, is a lot of soldering. So just so you all know, it is probably going to be one of the most boring streams I have ever done, because I'm going to really concentrate while I put about 135 LEDs onto a board that's going to fit in this section. And yes, you heard right, about 135 LEDs. That's a lot of LEDs. So this is the casing essentially for the electronics. This is not the full stage itself. I will be working up more on top of this, or underneath it I should say, and on top, because it's going to have the rigging going around it and the Christmas tree lights, and I've got to see if I can wire the Christmas tree lights up somehow to the reactionary lights, because the reactionary lights should go with the music, or whatever it is that I'm pumping through via Bluetooth. Obviously the key to it being is via Bluetooth. I don't have to have a wire in it. But it still has a jack lead. You can still take a jack lead. So we'll have a quick talk through about the electronics in a moment. And then I'll think about going on to the actual, then I'll move on to the next models. I don't get it perfect though. I want some discrepancies in the paint. I want a lot of it to be quite smooth, but I want some discrepancies, just so it looks like an orc has done it. Otherwise it just looks like I've sprayed a box, and it's not going to help with the effects. Final side. So as you can see, as I've got it here, this side's here already got some holes for like power leads, jack leads. Not sure what this one's for. Not sure what that hole's for. I'm guessing I'll find out eventually. But I'm not quite sure what that actual hole's for. And then we've got the holes on the top which are going to have the controls. So pairing up for the Bluetooth, etc. possibly even skipping controls and audio controls for the device that you're using. Of course, none of the electronics are actually set up yet because, as I said, my friend doesn't lend me the soldering iron until tomorrow. Now, of course, doing electronics that you've never done before, live on camera, for people to watch you messing up, is a little bit daunting. I'm not going to deny it. It is a little bit daunting. But, same as everything else I've done it all in front of you. All first time, every time. So you've always got to see the mistakes. So why should this be any different? It's just a little bit more difficult, that's all. Good evening, Graham. I am airbrushing today. Look, I'm using an airbrush. Looky. Are you proud of me? You shouldn't be, I'm fucking it up. And I'm having to use a very, very strange method to get it to somewhat come out even. A very, very odd method. Which is kind of like flicking the trigger. And I'm only doing this because it arrived early. It wasn't actually due to arrive until about Wednesday. So I probably would have ended up doing this on Thursday anyway. But if I can get this bit done, it means I can work on more and I can get it underway. I can actually start working on the electronics. As well as the band members. I do have 2 band members done though. Well, almost done. I have a guy holding what he's calling a bass guitar. And I have somebody sat behind a squid kick drum. Now he needs to go, they both need to go on top of here actually. It's just how much on top of here they need to go. So I'm going to have to make a small stand for the bassist. Because he's supposed to be stood. Actually no, I'm not. I just need to make a stand here for the drummer. I need to make something there for the drummer to go on. Then the 2 guitarists, one can go on each speaker, a bassist on one side and the lead guitarist on the other. Right, how's that looking? That's looking like I need to come down here again. That's how that's looking. And I need to come back over this lot again. Just to make sure. Because although I do want it to be painted like an arc, I don't want it to be transparent. So that when the lights do come through it, they're not just coming through everywhere. And this is the advantage to having one of the larger compressors as opposed to one of the small ones. I am able to just keep spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying. Right. And then redo the end piece, just because that's not had a second coat yet. And then from there I can just use up any excess. I should have done this a minute ago with the yellow, but I can use up any excess just to fan it out over the Sky Shield landing pad. Should have done this with the yellow, shouldn't I? Oh well, lesson learned. I'm going to have to come back with the yellow to do this section again. Or at least these sections here. And follow all the lines and the steel work in the middle. Just so I do actually have a red side and a yellow side. Again, more stuff will be going over the top of this, but I do need a decent base layer. So let's rotate that so you can actually see what I'm doing. Which in this case is catching all these lines here. Now this may take 2 or 3 coats just to get it over and over with. And just to sort out that transparency that it seems to like keeping. My finger's sore. You have a lovely night, Ali. Thank you for coming. Thank you for... I'm how many of 300? I'm at 297. Woohoo! We're growing. We're growing. We're getting there, people. We're getting there. We may well have a channel one day that people can actually come and join and do things on properly. At that point, I may actually become a real YouTuber. Until then, I'm the same as all of you. I'm just sat in front of a camera, though. That's the only difference. Right, now I've got to go wash that out again. Woo! Turn that off. Otherwise, it's going to spray everywhere with gas. See? Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on. It's almost like YouTube actually pushing me a little bit. I doubt it, but it seems that way. And then I go and do something to mess it all up, so don't worry. One moment while I clean my airbrush and then I'll come back. There we go. We have a cleaned out airbrush. I mean, it's still got a little bit of residue around the inside, but all in all, it's doing all right. At least I think it is. Now that I've just seen the cap, I'm not so sure. Let's make sure the cap's clear. Or at least the needle is anyway. The needle is now. That is good. Let's put that back over there. So that is the start of the ARC stage. As I said, with this, there's going to be lots of little buttons and things. Which, the problem is, all the instructions are in Chinese. So I have absolutely no frigging idea what they say. One thing I am aware of, though, is that I've got 300 and odd lights that are all got to go on that board. All of them got to go on that board. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Evelyn, hello. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. We have not just started, but we are not just finishing today, so good time. Good time. So I have this board, which is the main board. Now that's going to have the Bluetooth sensor on it and everything else. Problem is, those are my instructions. Now, I don't know if some of you can actually see that, but that doesn't help. That doesn't help at all. Neither does that. Because it is all in Chinese and I can't read it. So I'm going to have to do a bit of Google Translate with that one. Just to get it on. But that's my instructions for putting the entire Bluetooth thing together. Which, I'm just saying now, does not look like a whole heap of fun. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's a lot of messing around. A lot of messing around. Yeah, there is a good chance I am going to have to do another coat. You are right, Fargrim. I'm probably going to have to do another coat. But at least now I can see roughly what I'm working with and how it's going to look. So as I said, whoever put them, are they back here? No. Where have they gone? Are they in there? No. Okay, I've got 3 ARCs on bases ready to put on this thing to see how it goes. And now I can't find a single bleeding one. Why can't I find a single bloody ARC? Where have I put the ARC? Oh, where have I put my ARCs? They're definitely... Oh, there they are. Right, so we have the drummer who needs to be able to fit up there. Then we have the bass player who I've actually glued the bass onto now, who needs to go on that side. And then the other guitarist will go on this side. And we have Mr. Singer Dude down there right in front of the lights. And I think I've just popped a bit of red paint on him. Yeah, I have. Okay, so we have Mr. Singer down there, who's going to be going in front of the lights. The drummer, bass guitarist, and then room for the other guitarist. So we are getting somewhere with this. Then obviously, as I said, because it's going to be an ARC stage, you've got the dance floor as well, which is going to be right there. So now I've got to figure out how I'm going to raise it all up a little bit higher so that the singer can actually be stood on a stage. So that's going to take another couple of blocks underneath to raise this up. And then, so that's going to be out to there. So we have a lot to think about for Thursday. But for now, this needs to go and dry. There we go. So that is now moving out of the way, and I have odd camera angle now compared to normal because I've moved my camera. So how is everyone doing tonight? Now I can actually read everything properly and I can speak And I can go get my cup of tea as well. I can go get my cup of tea. Is what I can do. My cup of tea is supposed to live here. And it is not there because I was doing spray painting. A brew. We've got a cup of tea. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. I had no idea what I was doing when I started. I should say I had even less of an idea of what I was going to do when I started tonight than what I usually have. As I know I don't always have an idea of what I'm doing. I just have a loose idea of what I would like to get done. And we can take it from there. So, now we can hunt for the wet palette again. Which should not be that far away. It should be quite close to me. I found it and I kept it out. Huzzah! We have found it. The wet palette. Now we just need to make it wet. Oh, you've got some great news. And it's your tea time. What are you having, Fargrim? And what is your great and wonderful news, Graham? Can you share with the group, or is it slightly more personal than you would like? Because it... And when you mean great, you mean great. Oh! Is she gone? Please, was she an accident? Was she? Oh, that'll be awesome. Probably shouldn't be saying that really on YouTube, should I? But you know who I mean. And it would be great, wouldn't it? I think that would be great news. Tea time for Fargrim. So I still don't know what Fargrim. Oh, quite the opposite. You shouldn't show it in public. Okay, fair enough. Private contact, if you wish. You can go through that method. Or if it's like, just really, nobody else should know about this at all. Just you and whoever is actually directly involved in whatever it is. That's great news, because great news usually has somebody else involved in it. Because they've done something, or they're doing something. Or they're going to be going ahead and doing something. I can take random guesses. Whether or not I'm right, I've got no idea. And by the sounds of it, you're not going to let me know either. So... I'm not going to take random guesses, because that just sounds silly now. Because I'll never find out that way. Duh. I'm being an idiot. Right, let's get this wet palette wetted up. I do need a new sponge. I do need a new sponge. Now, although I am only, as Ali has put, 3 subs away from 300. I know there are people that are growing much larger than me, and I am glad they are, because they are putting just as much, if not more, effort into their YouTube channel hobbying than I am. Because as you read the channel description, mine's therapy. They're doing it for a living, so I'm not expecting for this to turn into a job. But I'm coming to think of it, that might be the worst thing that could possibly happen, because then it doesn't become therapy anymore, is it? It's a job. But I could do with a job, I'm not going to lie. I could do with a job that's reliable and well paying, which YouTube is not. It is not reliable and it is not well paying. If you want reliable and well paying from YouTube, you've really got to rely on Patreon and third party stuff. Which kind of defies the point of going through bloody YouTube in the first place if you've got to rely on somebody else. Idiots. There we go. See, I even found the actual piece of paper to go on it. How good is that? I'm getting excited over a wet palette that I already own. That's not a good thing, especially when you keep banging your head off the camera. So let's go back to Mr. Missile Man. Let's have a look at Mr. Missile Man. Oh, no worries. I won't check that out until after the stream then, Graham. I will check that out after the stream. That'll probably be that message thing that popped up a minute ago. And I didn't actually see what it was. Sure. I want to do chevrons on the top of these. But you can see I've tried drawing lines on. You can see in the light there. I'm not very neat at doing chevrons, and there's only a small part of it that would actually need them. So me thinks we should go with silver first. And just get the actual missile launchers themselves painted and coloured in. So just for anyone who's not been here before, I know there are a few of you who have been in, and sometimes you are quiet, sometimes you chat, which is fine. I'm thankful for everybody who comes to see me, but if you've not been here before, yeah, I'm a weird person who does this for therapy. So I might do Warhammer 40,000, I might do Dungeons and Dragons, I might have an Age of Sigmar model on, even though I don't play, or I've never played Age of Sigmar. But it's possible that sometimes I will have these things available and be painting them. But I work on scenery, I work on models, and I work on dioramas and larger projects as well. So if you've not seen it, the last couple of episodes of the Magical World of Sparkles and Oak, essentially where I finished that diorama, should be available now. Even though YouTube's got a habit of like putting my videos out a week late and letting people know a week after the fact. They are up there now, and my water pot is overflowing because I poured my wet palette excess water into it, and now it is overflowing. That's not good. That is not good. It's also not good to have a hose wrapped around your foot either, while you're trying to manage not to drop water and spill it over everything that's electrical in your way. That's better, it's not overflowing anymore. I can use my water without my water spilling everywhere. Yeah. I can also sit on my chair and also get a book up my bum. But that's a different matter entirely. Brush, 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 brush. I've got so many brushes I do not know which to use. I've got to use that one. Yep. See, sometimes it is good just to do it for therapy. And as therapy of one of my favourite rock bands, yeah, I'm quite happy to do that. So rather than painting the chevrons on this bit, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint it silver. Or paint it gunmetal anyway. And then at least it stands out and it's not one plain colour. Now that new mini that you've got, Twisted, that does look like a very nice single model. Obviously, it's more bust style than playable miniature style, but she looks really good. Highly detailed, nice pose. And if you're looking for a challenge, especially when it comes to things like skin tones, there's a lot on there. There is a lot. So we now have a bright silvery patch. And I think I should do the end caps as well. See, I could have done that entire big thing with a brush, which I think I'm probably going to end up doing the second coat with a brush. Just get one large brush and go thunk, 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 done, done, done. And get a decent coat on it while I'm at it. Right, so that's going to be the basics. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's something to take our minds off it. Something to put us into a nice little fantasy world where we don't have to worry about everyday life things, because we're thinking about things 38,000 years in the future. Or in alternative realities. And various other things. Or just worried about structural integrity because we're trying to build a diorama and things are falling over. It's giving us a different set of problems and thought processes to go through that aren't overly meaningful or stressful if they go wrong. That's what we need. I mean, if I mess this up, what's the worst that's going to happen? I've got to throw it through some biostrip and paint it again. That's it. That's the worst thing that's going to happen with this. And if that's the worst thing that can happen on something, then I'm not worried. If I mess it up, I mess it up. If I don't, even better. I'd rather not mess it up, of course, because I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over again. Even though I collect Space Marines and I know they're all in the same armour, and it's just painting the same thing over and over again. If they have different weapons and different guns and the armour's slightly different sizing, then it's not as bad. It's not like I'm not doing the exact same thing over and over again. It's not like I'm painting another bolt gun. Nope, this time it is a missile launcher. And not a Games Workshop missile launcher. No, 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 no. Because we all know how I feel about that company. And they can go stick it. These are the far superior Rogues Den Hobbies missile launchers. Because they actually look like friggin' missile launchers. Not two guns strapped together. Like, basically, the new Desolation Squad that Games Workshop brought out are essentially holding ARC guns. And trying to pretend that they're Space Marines. And we know that they're not. We know that they're not. So I went normal missile launchers on mine. And one of them's a Castellan missile launcher, and one of them's a super crack missile launcher, and one of them's a super frag missile launcher, and oh dear God, get over yourself, it's a missile launcher. As long as it looks like it can fire great big giant rockets at you, which this one looks like it can. It is believable as far as I'm concerned. So therefore, it is a valid missile launcher for the purposes of playing the game. Obviously, tournament organisers will not agree with me. But, well, that's up to them really, isn't it? I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on tonight. Because I do, as I said, I've got somebody dropping off a soldering iron tomorrow. And as much as I like to keep it all on stream, I do want to get a bit of practice with that soldering iron before I actually come and do it all in front of you. So I may try and do one of the boards with my friend's help, because he's a little bit better at electronics than I am. Well, he owns a soldering iron for a start, so I would hope he knows what he's doing more than I do. So hopefully he's going to help me set up the main board, so I just have the lights to do. Which I've got to say, it still isn't. It's still quite a daunting task. 132 or 130, and 132 lights. Yeah, 11 times 12. So there's 11 rows with 12 lights in it, or 12 columns with 11 lights in. Either way round, it's a lot of bloody LEDs. No matter which way round you want to put it, it's a lot of LEDs. And that's just for the ones for the graphic. That's not including the ones that go on to show connections and power and anything else like that. That's just the reactive LEDs for the music. The fact that I'm saying that is just putting it into my head just quite how ludicrous of a plan I've got in mind. I want to make a... Who let me do this? Who let me do this? Yeah, well, the official... I wouldn't, yeah. I wouldn't join an official GW tournament. Even if they paid me, to be quite honest. I might if they paid me, but... Put it this way. I'd put a bet on me to lose. If I were you. I would definitely put a bet on me to lose. You went in to see James Workshop on Saturday. They didn't have what you wanted for Agram, so you ended up with a Repulsor Executioner. And this is why Sparkles does not let me go to these things like the Vapnorek and ChillCon and game, those things. She doesn't let me go on my own. Last time we went to play board games, and it was Graham who told us about it, and I took Mini Laz and Sparkles, and Ramrod came with us, and we met up with Graham and one of Graham's friends. And I still ended up coming back with a bloody Hive Tyrant, and then converting the other bits of the Hive Tyrant with a bit of a Neuro Tyrant, so I can get a winged Hive Tyrant. So I've got all 3 Tyrants now. I wasn't gonna, I wasn't gonna. No worries, Evelyn. Yeah, if you're up in 5 to 6, you go get yourself some sleep and take care of yourself, and we'll see you on Thursday about the same time as 9:30. But if you've got to go to bed so early, it might even be the Wednesday morning stream. Oh no, I've not got a Wednesday morning stream this week, have I? Because it's a 2-parter, so I'm going to collect the first part on Wednesday, get the second part on next week's Wednesday, and do it all at once, so I do a double stream. Build in the morning, read in the evening. Because I believe some people like the reading streams, even though they're not overly long. I believe some people like them, so I shall continue doing them. Right, so now I have lots of silvery bits on these. You're looking for a warps. Ooh. A warpsmith. What could you use for a warpsmith? I mean, you could completely destroy Torgaradon and make that into one. Or you've got Iron Father Feros. You can get him with a few Necrony bits instead of the more Mechanicus bits. That might work well for a Warpsmith. Yeah, give that one for a Warp. Yeah, if you're looking for a Warpsmith fibre, try Iron Father Feros with a few modifications from Necron bits if you can. I would anyway, that's how I'd go about it. But I'm also a Star Raving lunatic, so you shouldn't necessarily listen to me, because I've only just figured out that if I've got a dial up here that can turn me up and down, so that my volume thingy works weird. Didn't know I had that on top until I tried to pull the sticker off and it moved. Because the sticker's got a little tab thing on it that kind of invites you to pull it off. So I did try to. and then I realised it twists, and it can actually adjust the amount that it's taking in and not taking in. Oh, my desk is bouncing. So now I can actually see, whoa, I went right up into the red. I went right up into the red. That's not good. It's not supposed to go right up into the red. That's why I've got to keep my voice down a bit more. Figured that out now. Now that I've turned that up so it picks me up easier, I've got to keep my voice down so it doesn't pick me up as much. But I do have to turn that so it's actually facing me. That does help a little bit more. But it also makes this go wobbly, 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 because that's the camera and it's attached to the mic stand up there. Just so I had more room while doing the airbrushing. I don't believe it'll become a full-time fixture. Same with this current layout that I have at the moment, where I'm stuck in the top on one, and yeah, it's weird. I don't think that's going to stay either. Oh, these are they were supposed to be part of third company. Well, he was anyway. He wasn't given a company. He's not happy. What was he? No, neither was you. Was you given a company? No? How about you? Yeah, you're supposed to be part of third company as well. So they can stay in third company just as more fire support as opposed to battle line. Yay. Right. Other missile. Now, how am I going to make these missile launchers stand out from those missile launchers, apart from the fact that these have got lots of little red lipsticks on them and they've just got one great big whopping red lipstick on them? The sound is all good? Excellent. I mean, it won't be if I do that. If I do that. But if I can turn it all the way up and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, it should be alright now. Back to where it was when you said it was all good. Yay! Any road. Now, bolters are of course red. Melters are brass. Plasmas are silver and blue. Flamers are bronze. I want a metallic. No, I want a metallic. I'm going to put bronze on it because the cracks can be silver and the frags can be bronze. That's what we'll go with them. That's what we'll go with them. While I am shaking pots of paint and waiting to put it on here, and anyone who wishes to hit that like button or hit the subscribe button, please feel free, because it costs you nothing. Same as joining the Discord costs absolutely nothing. If you are a budding dungeon master and have worked with making some custom things before, I would much appreciate your help in the Discord, because I've got a lot of stat sheets for random critters to do, including some familiars as well. So please feel free to join up and have your say in what the creatures from the magical world of Sparkles and Oak have as powers and abilities. So I do have some that have been done, but not so many. Not so many. And some of them still need writing into actual character sheets. So I may have, even though I have them on a D&D character builder, they have not actually been put onto a character sheet yet. Which means they can't be uploaded for other people to download and use. So we're going to go with bronze barrels. So in this case, rather than doing the top, which I did last time, it's going to be more the barrel section around here. So the nice curvy section. And then in between. Yeah. You'll see. You'll see in a second. It's going to be this section here. And then all in between those. And And then up and round here we go. And now we can paint in the rest of the actual barrel itself. And that's where the barrel, oh, you can't even see there, can you? So that's how the barrels are going to be. So you can see the shiny bits there. Just about. Really? You've not heard of the shop app before? No, she's not going to let me. No point. I'm not going to ask. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where I ordered my Desolation Marines from. Well, my Desolation proxies from. Which ended up becoming Terminators. But I'm pretty sure that's how I ordered them. That's how I track them from you anyway. It comes through the shop app. In fact, I'll even bring it up in a minute and show you. Because now I'm certain that all the stuff is coming through from the both portrait and horizontal into the single chat, which is the one everyone can see on the screen. Now that that's happening, I can use my phone again for other things, such as showing you the shop app, where it will let me go back and order other things that I have ordered in the past. So bear with us a sec, and I'll show that to you. Let's just unplug my phone. Obviously I'm in the middle of my own stream there. And what you're looking for is this. See? Shop. Now I'm not sure what details are going to come up, so I'm just going to hold on for a minute. So here you go. If I go to following, it should bring you up. Why have you brought Warlord Games up? There we go. Rogues and Hobbies. I can order through collections, all products, custom prints, 3D wearbear. So it's got all the stuff that I've had on there before. All that I've been looking at. No. Go away. I want Rogues Den Hobbies. I don't want any of this other blah blah gumpy crap. Tabletop Times Space Bears. And then through this you can order your Space Bears. And it does work. Pricing's still good. Still good. This is the one I want. But this is the one I want. See that? That's essentially a Terminator size model on top there. Alright? That's a Terminator size model. And see the size of the bleeding bear is doing. Oh my god. Absolutely massive. GB Models, good evening. Good evening. We're just showing off some of Rogue Den Hobbies models that he sells on his site, but through the shop app, because he wasn't aware of it. I've just got rid of something that had realised had some part of something on that I didn't really want to show on YouTube. So I've had to close it down now. But the shop app is, yeah, I've used that. That's how that's how I've tracked every purchase I've made from you so far, Graham. Every single one has gone through the shop app. Purchases go through the website, but the shop app tracks the delivery. So that's how I did that. So is anybody else modelling tonight? Is anyone else doing any hobbying? Are we all just listening to me waffle complete twaddle? which is fine. You can do that if you wish. I often waffle twaddle. It helps. It does. Because let's face it, if I'm sat here just painting and there's no sound, it's not very good, is it? You want something to listen to, even if it is my dulcet tones. At least makes for a slightly more enjoyable experience. Or so I've heard. I can't stand my own voice. See, even Fargrim uses a shot. It's a good little app. But you don't have to do purchases through it. It's just very good for tracking and making sure you know where things are. For instance, if I could have used that to track the Bluetooth speaker set, I would have known it was sat in my cupboard for 2 days. Instead, it got delivered by Every, so I didn't know it was sat in my cupboard for 2 days until I accidentally went in my cupboard and saw it there, and then went and checked again on Amazon to find out, oh, it has been delivered. Right, okay. So Every can go get stuffed, but it can even track them. So we have nice bronze all on the barrel of the frag missile launchers. Frag missile launchers. Don't ask me why I enjoy saying frag missile launchers. I don't know, but I do. I enjoy saying frag missile launchers. Not as much as crack launchers, though. Crack launchers. That's funny. At least in my head it is anyway. Sparkles is giving me angry looks. Help! She's giving me weird looks. I only get looks like that when I'm in trouble. But I'm in trouble and I'm live online. So I'm kind of safe for now. I just don't want to hit that end stream button because that's when it all goes to. And she can come and get me without worrying that people are going to see. Not that she does. You've never seen me with bruises or cuts or anything. So you know she doesn't beat me up. She just has a way of looking at me that makes me feel like a naughty dog. It works. Fargrim, Monday is your chill day. You're going to work on some white scouts this week. Nice. Nice. I hate painting white. Good luck. And got a game at the weekend taking on the Tyranids. Oh, who? See, I obviously Space Marine player, but I'm a Salamander successor and I'm a Tyranid collector as well. So who would I want to win that battle? Make it easier. Is the Tyranid player one of my subscribers? If not, then kick his ass. And then when you win, tell him he's got to go and subscribe, because that's why he lost. And that's why you won. You invoked the cheese of Laz. To make the rules work for you in ways that they are not supposed to. Ramrod has designated a term on computer games as the Laz move, and it is the one-shot win move. So rinse, repeat, and get your opponent not to be able to move so that you can continue kicking their head in a corner. That is what he calls the Laz move. Now, it could be a various different moves. So, Kenna, the Bridge of Spirits. This is a move where you run up and use the heavy attack, do an overhead slam, and you stagger the enemy so you can run up and do it again. Rinse and repeat, essentially. Rinse and repeat. Just beat the snot out of them with big clubby smashy things. Mortal Kombat 1. Raiden's dive across the screen. I had that time so that neither of us touched the floor. Oh, why does it say penguin blue waving tit? And does that actually show me what? Is that actually going to show me what that means? Because that just made no sense to me. Penguin blue waving tit. What?
An emoji.
A what?
Emoji.
Yeah, I know it's an emoji, but what type of emoji?
Like a blue penguin.
Did you really just say blue penguin? It says it right there.
I can see it.
Penguin blue waving tit.
And it's like got a little tear on his eye.
Are you under?
I've been trying to explain it to you.
Yeah, I know, which is why I want to see it. And haha, everybody can hear you now because I've turned the gain up on that. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I've never seen that emoji before. See, this is why I didn't understand, because it's a new emoji for me. Got to bear in mind, I'm not clever. I'm quite a simple person. And I believe Fargrim's the only person watching me in the portrait mode at the moment. So I've had to go back in there just to watch to see what the emoji looks like, because I didn't recognise the emoji. I didn't know you had a blue penguin waving with a tear. Why is he crying when he's waving? Should be happy. Happy little penguin. Happy feet. Okay, maybe not happy feet then. Apparently my cat said I can't have happy feet. Painting the missile launcher right in the end. And now we're gonna fight this through, fight to the very end. We'll launch them over the hills, we'll launch them over the bridges, we'll blow the fuckers up, and then we'll take all of the riches. Now loot their armour, take all the guns. That's what we want, because we're the fan ones. They've got rockets, we want them too. So we can go dagger, 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 and boom. Don't ask why it changed. I don't know either. My brain just said it had to. And I'm not arguing with my brain at this moment in time, because the whole point is I'm supposed to be able to let it off the lead. So that it's not constantly going blah 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 to just me. It's going blah 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 blah, blah to all of you and everybody else. You get to deal with what goes on, well, some of what goes on in my head. And that is just a little bit of it. We have fun, don't we? We have fun. So what is everybody else working on, if anything? You might just be sat there, again, as I said, listening to me. Nobody's put any projects up, apart from White Scars from Fargrim. I believe Twisted is actually going to be working on his bust, or his lady squatting model thingy bob effort. I don't know what to call it, and I can't remember her name. So, his lady squatting thingy bob effort until I remember that. I do know it's going to take a lot of effort because it's a bloody detailed model. It's a very detailed model. It's going to take a lot of effort. Oh, he was supposed to be part of one. Okay, never mind. No, he can't have been part of one. He had to have been part of three. One's obviously the first company, which is Terminators and Veterans. So he couldn't have been part of the first company. Unless were you supposed to be turned into a veteran? Was you supposed to be a stern guard, mate? And I've chopped your arm off now and made you into a desolation marine. I'm sorry. You've got a bit of a downgrade there, didn't you? You was going to be looking forward to becoming a stern guard, and then I'm going to made you into a desolation marine. Better not revolt. Brassy, 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 brassy. Brassy, 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 brassy. It does look cool. It does. It's just that I've never seen that one before. So it was a bit of a ooh, what's the blue penguin? I've never seen the blue penguin. I've seen the penguin with a knife on Twitch. I use that one a lot. That's my hello emoji on Twitch. Is a penguin with a knife. Cat kitchen knife going hee. That's my hello emoji. Makes sense to me, at least. That or the cat swinging its tail in the moon. Depending how playful I'm feeling. If you see the cat with the moon, it means I'm in a very playful mood. Do not engage. If you see the penguin with the knife, though, I'm alright. I'm just being normal me. Right. Said Fred. Aspect for the bum. Sorry, just going off on little random things again. And I've noticed a scanner that needs a screen. A scanner that needs a screen. So we're going to take Sabarite green, just a little bit of it, and we're going to try and focus on this thing here. Right, see that there? That needs a screen. It's already got a screen, but it needs painting in. But it's really small. And it is not easy to get everywhere you want without smudging. Unless you've got hands like everybody else in the world who can do that. I can't though. So I do the best I can. And now at least his screen's now been painted in. So it at least looks like he's scanning for stuff. Oh, you've done the dab one. What does it say? Elbow cough. It's not an elbow cough, it's a dab. I've banned them from in my house, from my children doing them, but I can't ban them from YouTube. Sadly. I would ban all dabbing from the internet. Well, all that type of dabs. Because it just looks like you're slapping yourself in the face, really. That's what it looks like. So we have mist-style launchers that you can now tell them apart. So you have silver on the crack and bronze on the frag. And it's just black wash it's going to need over most of it now. I'm not going into too much detail on rank and file troops. I just don't see the point in it. It's ridiculous. So I really don't see the point in just doing rank and file troops. But the what have we got left to do? Purity seals? Has anyone got any purity seals that need doing? I've done your knife. Got the skull done. You probably had purity seals on this arm before I snapped it off and replaced it with this shoulder. Obviously this shoulder's more of a Cataphracti Terminator style shoulder pad rather than the other one. Well, he has he has no purity seals. He does, but they've already been done white and ivory. So he's almost okay, except for that little section that needs to be done gold. Seems to be a lot of metallics tonight, doesn't there? A lot of metallics. Where is my distributor armor? Where's my gold? Where's my gold? There's my gold. There's my gold. My gold, not Asmongold. He's got his own gold. He can go sort that out himself. So now I want detaily bits. So dangly crotch ornaments and things like that. So in his case, he's got a little dangly crotch ornament down here. Why they have to have them dangling down there, I don't know. But they all seem to enjoy them. So he's got a dangly crotch ornament now. And another bit of something right there next to his helmet. Good thing is his helmet's still black, because it matches the rest of his armor. You okay, kitty? He's having a bit of a cough. Alright. Making some very, very concerning noises. There is my cat. I'm getting worried, and I'm also preparing for the emergency chuck out the door because she's gonna throw up. Oh, you got a crotch ornament as well. But you're the left-handy one, aren't you? He is. I have seen the new Defiler. It looks very much more biological than the old one. So much more biomass on there, and big sections of flesh, which I kind of get why they was doing that, but I prefer the old style Defiler, which is much more mechanical. But that's just a personal preference. The new one is very well posed. The new one is very well posed. But I also like the look of the new Chaos Marines for Huron Blackheart and his Corsairs. I do like the look of that. They look quite nice. Just as an alternate sculpt to a Chaos Space Marine. So if I was going to start a non-World Eaters army, or a Chaos army that isn't dedicated to a Chaos God, I'll probably go with the Corsairs now. Just because they look so fucking cool. But yes, I have seen the new Defiler. Yeah, it looks good, but I prefer the old one. But I do that on a lot of things, so it's not like it's something I prefer. Some of the older ones when it comes to a lot of things, like Death Company, I prefer the older ones. Although I am selling mine at the moment, so yeah, I won't have my Death Company for much longer if they sell. And that's a big if at this moment in time, because they've been sat there for ages. And nobody bloody wants them. Even though they have the bespoke bloody shoulder pads. You know, the embossed shoulder pads. They have those. The only thing I think they're missing are... They don't have jump packs, but they never came with them in blister packs, so that's irrelevant there. are who both getting kit bashed? Are who both getting kit bashed, Fagram? I mean, some of my world eaters are proxies. So I'll get them out. Because these need to be pushed back now. They're pretty much done. Well, I say pretty much done. I could call them done now if I wished. They do have the 3 colour minimum. They are able to be played on a tabletop now without anyone confusing what they are. If I put them there and those there, you will be able to see that they are not the same unit. They have different weapons and a different composition. When it comes to my world eaters though, actually that's a bloody good question. Where's my world eaters box? Where's my world eaters box? This isn't my world eaters box. No, this is my Death Company box. As I said, all the very old Death Company with the actually embossed shoulder pads, so the blood tear on that one does actually pop out. So I have shoulder pads, I have bases. I think the only thing I even have a few like power sword arms ready for them as well. So I have quite a few. It's a full 10-man squad, don't get me wrong. And as I said, it's got the actual these, but I'm getting rid of them, so I don't know why I'm showing you them. I'm selling them. They're going for sale. Can't remember how much for, but definitely being sold. Where is my World Eaters box? My World Eaters box should have packaging on top of it to help keep them nice and neat and tidy and clean. And what was that? That was something that didn't sound good. That's what that was.
It flying to the back.
Say again?
I saw it fly to the back.
So what fly to the back?
I don't know, something black.
Something black flew to the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's not reassuring. Right, well, I found the World Eaters anyway. I know the World Eaters because they're in with all the current resin stuff that is yet to be used from Roast and Hobbies. So when it comes to my World Eaters army, this is a mismatch of all sorts of stuff. So I have Angry Ron, who's currently in a plastic box back in the cupboard that I can't get to right now. So he's going to be my Angron proxy. I have a Lord Executioner, which has been kit bashed from a Dark Apostle. I also have a Slaughterbound, which was given to me as a Secret Santa gift, and I didn't paint this, so that's why it looks better than everything else I've done. Now, obviously, I've got the 2 leaders because they have units to lead. Now, in the case of the Slaughterbound, I do have the 3 proxy 8-bound, which I got werebears for from Roast and Hobbies. So I have a nice unit of 3 of them. 2 of them with clubs and shields. And they look like they're part transformed into a Bloodthirster. And obviously, and then the what would be the equivalent of a Sergeant model, which is the guy with claws. So that is my 8-bound and Slaughterbound unit. This gentleman currently only has 10, I believe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Use a Terminator. 4. Use another Terminator. So is he. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. So there's 10 for the Lord Executioner to lead. So 10 just standard word bearers. Not word bearers, world eaters. And then a unit of 5 Terminators, because that's what's come with Combat Patrol. Including one that has to have the Reaper autocannon, because it just does. That's because they don't give me anything heavier in there. Who has there is one with a chain fist also, and the sergeant with an accursed weapon, which, as my usual accursed weapons, are purpley, greeny weirdness. And of course, last but not least so far is the Hellbrute as well. Now again, this one's got lots of fleshy bits like the Obliterator has, or the new, not Obliterator, the new, Fargrim's just mentioned it. Defiler, that's it. The new Defiler has lots of fleshy bits on. But that is my current World Eater army, but that's going to get expanded with 20 more World Eaters. I have a nice axe to convert for another Lord Executioner, as well as a few Chaos Space Marine parts to use. Oh, I have another missile launcher. I didn't notice that one. And a weird extended bolt rifle thing. Those are nice. But yeah, at the moment it's 5 Terminators, 3 8-bound with a Slaughterbound leading them, 10 World Eaters with a Lord Executioner leading them, and a Hellbrute and Angry Ron. So they're going to get expanded with 20 more of these, a Mauler Fiend, and Lord Invocatus. Well, or Lord on Juggernaut, depending which way you are making. But I'd probably make him as Lord Invocatus because he seems a little bit punchier. So that's where he'll go. I've also got to wash his cape yet, to get his cape not looking quite as... Yeah, they're the last army in the Combat Patrol magazine, Fargrim. So once we get done with the Imperial Guard, which is the Heavy Ordnance team this week and next week, then we go back to the Genestealer cults for the Attilan Jackals, which are the bike guys. And after that, we finish off with the Armoured Sentinel for the Imperial Guard. And then we move into the World Eaters. And then that's it then. It only goes up to issue 90. And that's the end. I think that's the end of it. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's have a look, Fargrim. It's on my phone. I know it's on my phone because I found it there the other day. My files. No worries, Twisted. Did you enjoy your food, mate? And I shall hopefully see you back soon. If not, I will speak to you again and enjoy the rest of your day. As well as all your food. Right, there's all Instagram photos. No. Download? No. Now I found these on. I found it on my phone the other day. Not that long ago. I found the list and I was reading it. And now I can't remember where I found the list. I mean, I look at the amount of sheer pictures I have of all sorts. Is it under screenshots? Yes, it's under screenshots. Okay, so where are we up to? So Imperial Guard and Cadian Shock Troops, Field Ordnance. Oh, apparently supposed to be getting a heavy weapons squad as well. And then we get the Attilan Jackals, which are actually part of the Genestealer cults, not part of the World Eaters. So then it's the Armoured Sentinel, which should be coming in March. And then we get Lord and Juggernaut. Jackals, which... See, Attilan Jackals, let's have a look. Because this is messing my head up now. Let's go find Games Workshop and then we'll go have a look round there, shall we? See, find out what Attilan Jackals are and what the other Jackals are. Oh, wait a minute, have I just moved that to up above where I don't yet? I have. Right. So we put that there like this. And we're going to move it over a little bit. And a little bit on here. And Warhammer 40,000. Now we want the Xenos armies first. We want the Genestealer cults to find out. So Attilan Jackals, see? Those they have listed as World Eaters. But as you can see quite easily there, they are not World Eaters. They are Genestealer cults. So we'll be getting them before we get the Armoured Sentinel. Now it doesn't mention anything about a Jackal Alphas. But it does mention Jackals, which I think are the World Eaters. Yeah, there they are. World Eater humans. So we will be getting some of those as well. After we get the Lord and Juggernaut, which is a two-parter. These are going to be a two-parter. And then we've got 4 issues of Khorne Berserkers. So that'll be a double issue and another double issue. To give us, yeah, Khorne Berserkers. 2 sets of 10 of them. So that's 20 of those we'll be getting. And then a Mauler Fiend as well. So that's, what, 30 Khorne Berserkers? A Lord and Juggernaut, or Lord Invocatus in this case. I've already made one of the nuttier people, so they're fine. The on foot leaders, the equivalent to a captain, Lord Executioner, I think he's called. Yeah, oh, Master of Executions. It's supposed to look like that. Mine looks a bit different. And then a Mauler Fiend. That's 54.50, and we'll be getting it for how much? $19.98. That's a bargain and a half. You can build it as a Forge Fiend if you wish, though. I mean, £40 for the Hellbrute as well, and it was £20. Well, $19.98 again. Again, $19.98 for a unit of Khorne Berserkers. $19.98 for a unit of Jackals. It seems to be working out quite that way. Those are the 8-band, which obviously I've got the Wolfy people to proxy for. More brutal clubbing than anything else. And the Slaughterbound. The Slaughterbound's £27. Somebody spent £27 on me. But he is a nice model. He is a very nice model, and he's been painted extremely well. But that's everything. That's everything so far that we'll be getting. So let's bring this back up again. So yeah, Lord and Juggernaut. Lord and Juggernaut. World Eater humans. 2 units of Khorne Berserkers, and a Mauler Fiend. But those Attilan Jackals are the biker guys for the Genestealer cults. And it should all be done and dusted by the 20th of the 5th this year. That's when we should get the final issue, which isn't that far away, really. What, just over 3 months away? At once a week. That's not that far. That is not that far at all. You're around 5,000 points of World Eaters. Jeez. Wow, Fagram. 5,000 points on World Eaters. No, I think you're gonna have to make. You're making me go look now. I can't remember how many points I've got in World Eaters. New recruit. I've had to build it in new recruit. I don't have the real codex for these. So if you were looking for a third party army builder, this is one of them. I have just shy of 2,000 points in Eldari at the moment. I have just shy of 3,000 points in Tyranids. Just over 2,500 points in Guard without including what I'm about to get. Approximately 13,000 points of Space Marines. Yeah, World Eaters 1995, so 2,000 points. But I think I've got to make a few characters for that. Let's have a look. I can't remember how the army's laid out. Obviously, Angry Ron is the main thing up there. So let's have a look how my World Eaters are laid out. Okay, so I have Angry Ron and Lord Invocatus. 2 Master of Execution, so I need to build 1 more. Luckily, I do have extra Chaos Space Marine models around somewhere. Are you one? No, you're an Arc. I do have extra Chaos Space Marine models around. The Slaughterbound, which you've just seen. Battle Line, 30 Khorne Berserkers. 10 Jackals, 3 8-bound, 5 Terminators, Forge Fiend, a Hellbrute, and a Rhino. Now, I do have a lot of what I call flat pack rhinos, which are ready to just be clipped together and then disassembled to go nice and flat pack and then reassembled again to a certain degree. Enough to show that's a rhino and I can store it away easier. And that gives me my 1995. So not bad for a 2,000 point army. Of course I can stick a couple more rhinos in if I need to. And make another Master of Executions just because. And then I can order more 8-pound from Graham. So yeah, 2,000 points worth of World Eaters. But World Eaters are an accidental army in the same way that Eldar and Imperial Guard and Tyranids are all accidental armies. I'm not quite sure what I've got in Orcs. A Demon Prince wouldn't be too bad an idea at all, actually. If I was to get an actual Angron model, Angry Ron would become a Demon Prince. Now, what have I actually got in my Thwacker army, which is what I think I can field through Orcs. So obviously led by Ghazghkull Thwacker, or Ghazghkull Thwacker, 2 war bosses, 2 units of 5 knobs, 2 units of 3 bikers, a Boomdacker Snazwagon, 6 Deathcopters, custom booster blaster, shot jump dragster, and a stomper and a truck. So out of that 1985, a fair old big chunk of that is the stomper. And he's going to be transporting Ghazghkull, or Ghazghkull, of course. There's not a lot of objective control in there, is there? That's just coming to smash you to pieces. That's what that's doing. Ah, well. Yeah, I should imagine. Yeah, I guess it was quite an easy army to run. I like melee armies because you just run at them until you can hit them, and then once you can hit them, you win. You just got to be able to hit them in the first place. Alright, let's see how this speaker stage is dried, shall we? It's dried not too badly. No, I can actually start taking this apart now because it is only blue tacked together because I've got to get the electronics in here for still. So how easy is it to actually see through? No, I think I've actually done quite a good job of stopping that light, stopping that being see-through. Let's take the blue tack off because that's just going to get in the way of the electronics once they go in. And let's see how I've done on this one. Again, can't really see through it. Get rid of that hair there. Nope, that's good. That's good so far. Again, same with the... You can see through a little bit, I think. No, that's just a figment of my imagination. Oh, I know, Arcs need massive tables for some of the lists you can build. At one point, what was I fielding? I was fielding 120 Arc boys at one point, and then just Arc boys and Arc knobs with war bosses, and that's all I was fielding. So I was doing a full sea of green, and it'll essentially my opponents didn't have enough shots to take them on top. But this is the back piece. As I said, we're going to have the jack go through here. I'm pretty sure that's either going to be a USB or a power supply. If that's the USB, then that's going to be the power supply. But that also leaves all the other little slots that are on here that I have absolutely no idea. So this slot, and then all the buttonholes, which I'm not quite sure what buttons and slots are going to go through that, but we'll find out with Google Translate. It will work, I hope. Now, I know tonight has not been overly exciting. I've been doing little bits of different projects and talking about other things tonight because I do have so many different things on at the moment. I'm losing track of where I'm up to and everything else. So I'm going to put the missile launcher guys away as being tabletop ready now. They're going to go in a box. And I think we're going to start looking at Arcs more over the next coming weeks. Both on Models and Musings and on the Thursday streams of the Arc stage. I think we're going to be having a late or early October this year. So that when I do come to October, this actual October, because I'm going to be so bloody busy, I'm not going to be able to do much. So let's do it early, I think. So nice start on the stage. Know where it's going. We've got, as I said, we have the bassist with his peg leg. I have had to give him some kind of tactical sandbaggy thing to stand on, as well as a bit of a backpack for his peg leg, just so his bass actually fits on the bass. His bass fits on the bass. That's bass with BASS fits on the BASE with his weird handle and his mech head, but still they've gone for the older style. You're still yet to find an actual tom or snare or hi-hat for here, but we do have the squid kick, and obviously he has his drumsticks and his mask, because nobody ever sees the face of drummers because they're always at the back. Good night, Grey, mate. You go get yourself some sleep, recover from whatever that good news is, which I've still not looked at, and we shall speak again, mate. We shall speak again either tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we will speak some sooner or later, but go get some rest. And we have obviously the Arc single, which is the original. What's he called? I wrote his name down. Boss. No, is it? Big Boss Warfast? Or was it Fat Boss Warfast? I think it was Fat Boss Warfast. It's written on the inside of the box that everything else is in at the moment. So I've got to put his microphone, which I'm going to have pointing downwards, away from him, because that makes sense. He's an orc. As long as he's got it in his hand, the microphone works. It doesn't have to be pointing the right way. Which is why I've got a squid kick drum. So we have 3 out of the 4 band members. So we just have one more to do, which is the lead guitarist. And we can also start looking at the electronics on Thursday. So, yay! Lots of solder, lots of vapors, lots of toxic fumes, and lots of potential for going wrong. So I will look forward to that, and I will also look forward to seeing everybody on Thursday if you wish to come back. As I said, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and it'll let you know when I go live on Thursday. If you want to know roughly, I will be going 2 hours earlier than what I am currently live now. So it's 9:30 in the UK. Add the hours if you're going further west, or delete the hours if you're going back further east. Either way, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Please drive safe and have a good